After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to Penhook and Needles Podcast, episode 219. It is August 8th, 2016. As we are recording, it's 3 p.m., a little over 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So we're glad to have you with us. We want to welcome all new and returning viewers. Thank you for joining us. If you are returning, thank you for returning. We're glad to have you back. If you are new, thank you for joining us. We hope you find something that you like and that you will come back again. If you are still in the shadows or new in the shadows, we'd like to have you come and join us officially so that you can take part. Well, you can always take part, but so you can win or have the opportunity to win prizes and giveaways and things like that. I am Marlecia, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I am Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Welcome to the PHN Fun Woman Cave. We do have a couple of new members, and I'm not sure why I left them in yellow, but we do have them.
Well, your yellowing is very different than my yellowing. Yellow means I'm talking about it for me.
Yeah, not me. Okay, we have low budget. I'm not sure what the name is for that because I couldn't find it, but welcome Low Budget. We have Grandma Becky, 1954. Welcome, Grandma Becky.
I think her name might
be
Becky.
Or maybe it could be her grandkid's name. I don't know. Anyway, we have Nikki Jo, who is Sandra.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, welcome Nikki Jo. So welcome all of you, and once again, if you are in the shadows, please feel free to join us officially. Let's see here. Oh, I need to. There we go. Okay. Do you want me to continue as we go?
Tea.
Oh, tea, yes. I am not using my Tortoise versus Hare cup today because I need a little more tea, but not so much as a second cup, so I'm using my Avengers, my Marvel cup from Universal Studios. And you can see Wolverine and Iron Man and Hulk and Captain America. I have Black Widow on here, which makes me sad, but okay.
And I am using the Tortoise versus Hare mug. You might see me switching things out pretty soon just because I feel like switching out. Mm-hmm. 3 months is an awfully long time to use the same mug.
Yeah, we tend to switch out.
And I like to switch out.
And we have so many mugs to switch out to that we will probably predominantly use the Tortoise versus Hare. At least one of us will probably have it during the along, but not always both of us.
Yeah, and not always will we. It doesn't mean we don't love the mug. It's just we have so many mugs.
We just want to give all the mugs a little love. Okay.
Hey, my tea.
Oh,
we talked about my mug.
No, we didn't say. I didn't say what I had in mine either.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I have chai tea latte. Chai tea.
And I am drinking Plum Deluxe Evening in the Garden Herbal Tea, which is honeybush tea, elderflower, rose, lemon, and vanilla essence. No caffeine. I'm not sure if you've tried this one.
Do not know. I don't think so. It tastes very strong of tea.
Well, it is.
No, but
tea.
I mean as opposed to with a flavor to it.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. Reminds me of England.
I knew you were going to say that.
I had to say.
I knew you were going to say that.
If you could see into her head like I can, you could see the little wheel say, "Wait, she hasn't said it. She hasn't said it.
She's going to say it. Oh my gosh!
I had to say it. Okay. We do want to get into the promotions before we start blathering, or waffling, or however you want to say it. The toy along that is hosted by Brian, who is That Crochet Kid from the Brian's Universe. He has extended that, I believe, until the end of August. Mm-hmm. So it has not finished. It is still going. If you have toys, if you're doing tortoises and hares and things, put them in there. You might get something out of that. So this is his first Cal, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I wish I could do more, but I can't right now. He did say that anything going to Ronald McDonald House, the FO, will be worth 2 chances for a prize. And he has all the rules are in his group, so you need to kind of sign up for his group so you can be eligible for his prizes and watch the podcast. It's fun, and he hasn't had the chance to be really consistent, but I think he's settled down now. They've moved. They're at their house, so I think he'll be getting back onto his schedule, because he was very consistent for the first 4 or 5 episodes, and then he moved, and that can always be a little bit difficult. So, welcome back, Brian. We're looking forward to seeing your podcast again. We also have the OYCZ, which is Outside Your Comfort Zone Along. This is hosted by PJ Matilda, who is Pam. She is a PHNer. She has her own podcast. You should check it out if you don't already watch it, because it's a lot of fun. She's a pistol. She makes me laugh. She does have a Ravelry group, but her OYCZ Along is not in that group. It is in the Thank God It's Finished group, who is Erin, Give Me Yarn 418. There's a thread in that group, because when she started that Along, she didn't have a group. She does have a group now, so check out her podcast. Check out Erin's podcast if you are looking for something to watch and to see what that's all about.
And I just want to let you guys know, Mom said that she's a PHNer. We call PHNers anyone who's in our group. Basically, you aren't people who happen to be in our group who belong to another group. Oh no, you're a PHNer who happens to be in another group.
We're very
proprietary. We'll be like, oh, everyone who won in this group is a PHNer. And we won't be like, oh, we know
Just so you know, Kay and Dan of the Bakery Bears are PHNers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way we just happen to think.
Yes.
We claim you as ours, and we just don't let go.
No.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you go.
Yeah,
you've been rickrolled.
Yes, rickrolled.
Oh man, that was what, a '90s thing, early 2000s.
I don't know what the rickrolling was, but that song is 1980s.
Oh, well, that song is 80s,
yeah.
But rickrolling came back with the internet.
Okay, all the rules for that OYCZ Cal are in the thread, I believe, and you can also see it a couple episodes back. Pam talks about it.
Oh, Mom, we'll call this rickrolling.
What?
We'll call this episode rickrolling.
Rickrolling?
Rickrolling. That's what we just did. We rickrolled.
But what are you doing?
The episode name is rickrolling.
Oh, okay. She completely derailed me. Do you see what she did?
I don't actually listen to you.
That is very apparent. Okay, the Knit Spin Dialogue with Heidi of Undead Yarn is still going strong, and a lot of really pretty things there. The rules are in her group. I do not remember how long it goes. I'm sorry, I forgot to put it in my notes. But I believe it's still going on. I don't think it closes until the end of August.
I think it's open at least for a little while more.
I think so, yeah. There's a lot of good stuff going on there. And then for July and August, the craft along that Kenneth is having, it is a read along, I believe, and it can be double dipped in our cardiac along as well. A lot of neat projects in there as well. Sounds like a lot of fun. He just couldn't commit to ours because he was having some health issues. He is feeling better, but as I say every week, please keep him in your prayers so he can continue to get better, and they can determine whatever else needs to be dealt with. All right. Before we go into the rest of our episode, I do want to do the winners, okay?
Right. And then we had to talk about cardiac right along. And
Yes. Okay. This was not fixed. Okay, I had two threads for one for the crochet box, the other one for the designer crochet book. And you can check these, okay, if you like. They'll be in the show notes. The winner of the crochet box was post number 3 in that thread. That was Valeria. Okay, so Valeria, this is yours. All right, whoops, it's upside down. Okay.
You'll get it right side up.
Congratulations. I swear, not a fix. Post number 2, check it. And the winner of the designer crochet book is Valeria. Okay, Valeria. Send me your address. Yes, I know I have it. Send me your address because I like hearing from you. Okay? You have these 2 prizes. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy them. These will be heading off to you.
Hey, Valeria.
To Holland. And she just wants something for Maureen. You need to check out Maureen's podcast.
Apparently, you're just having lucky stretch right now.
Yep.
Now, for the Bullfinch shawl, I drew mine. I don't remember what number it was. No, it wasn't Blair. I would have laughed if it was.
I would have.
This was actually. I'm sorry. This actually goes to Laura crocheting Hovian. So, Laura, I know we have your address, but go ahead and send it.
Send it to me.
Yes.
Yes, send it to me. Okay. All right, so we have. Let me just put down.
So
here.
congratulations, Laura and Blair.
Yes, congratulations to our winners. Well, you're all winners, but you know what I mean. Okay. All right. Did you want to do the toy along first? Not the toy along. The
Tortoise versus
Tortoise
Hare,
versus Hare
probably.
first? Okay.
Because I have facts for cardiac right along.
yeah. Okay. Go ahead then.
I'm sorry. Let me get a drink. Go ahead and start talking tortoises and hares.
All right. Tortoise versus Hare is being done.
There
it's
we
being spearheaded.
Did you see how I offed that on her?
Yeah, that's being spearheaded by Laura Concert, who is crocheting Hovian, and her group is a what is it? Crochet. I just blanked.
Hovian
Crochet is Allegiance.
Hovian Allegiance?
Crochet Hovian Allegiance, I think it is. Or
It's not crochet at the
Hovian-
beginning. Hovian.
Hovian Allegiance. Okay, Laura, I apologize. I know what it is. I just can't think of it right now because she went, do this. Anyway, Laura is spearheading it. She asked us very graciously to co-host with. We were so excited about doing this. So the rules are in her group and in ours. There's one WIP per project per week, one FO, unless it's Taya's patterns, then you get two F for the FOs. It goes from, let me see.
It goes to the end of the read along, so at the end of September.
It began July 1st and it goes until the end of September.
Yeah.
So it does coincide with the read along. It's tortoises and hares.
Yes.
Any turtles, tortoises, bunnies, rabbits, hares, hares? Hares? Hair.
Long, beautiful
Yeah.
hair.
Hares.
Shining, gleaming, streaming, flaxen, waxen. Give me it down to there.
All right. Anyway, she's gonna derail. You're gonna talk now. You're gonna talk. Go on.
I
finish
wasn't
up.
listening to you.
Oh, you better finish up.
Goes till the end of September. And you can do any tortoises or hares, but you get double credit for finished objects in line.
Or with tortoises that have beard. No.
no bearded tortoises.
But it works so well.
They're really creepy.
It was really creepy.
Actually, the creepier one was the grass growing out
Yeah,
of
what
it.
was that? Who posted that?
I thought Flair did.
No, I don't think it was Blair. I think it was Spinning Laura.
Was it Laura? Okay. But, yes, there's a lot of fun in the group. There's a lot of banter, which has been a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the tortoises are winning right now. We have 3 undecided, which means they're automatically bunnies.
Go Team Tortoise. Go Team Tortoise.
Undecided really means you're a bunny.
No, it means you're a hare.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
it means you're a hare.
No, it means,
Good job.
Hare.
You
tortoise.
see, she already said it.
That's because they have 2 words. No, we I told Taya that had to be split in the middle, and the one who was odd could decide where she wanted to go. But one has to be a tortoise, one has to be a hare, and then the other one can decide where they want to go.
Which means hare.
Well, that means you have 2 and we have 1, so we're still ahead.
Tortoises are unfortunately leading. But, the bunnies will win out in the end.
We'll see. Slow and steady wins the race. That would be the tortoises. Okay, we were waffling a little bit.
The
Okay,
tortoises are being unfair and attaching jetpacks.
The projects can be started before July 1st, but they have to be worked on during the along, okay? And they do not have to be finished.
Yeah.
And the prizes, the rules are essentially what we have, but check out Laura because we're following Laura's rules. But they are very similar to our normal rules. She does have an Instagram hashtag. Yes, hashtag, which is CW Tortoise versus Hare 2016. Okay.
And we do have shirts up in my Etsy shop for Tortoise versus Hare.
And the featured patterns, as if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that those are Talia's Oops the Bunny and the
Timmy the
Timid Turtle and Biddy the Bashful Baby.
Yes. Biddy the Bashful Baby Turtle.
Yeah, I was looking for another T and I couldn't quite. It's not a tortoise, it's a turtle. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead and do the read along.
So, the cardiac ride-along, let me do this decrease here. It runs for, well, it's run through July 1st till the end of September. And the idea is that you knit anything in any shade of red. If you can justify it being red,
Ooh, I forgot one of my stash enhancements. I'll get it when we get our tea.
yeah, when I get up to get my second cup, because you know I'll need one. So, any shade of red, including pink with like the color of the horn back there on Cinna. Cinna's sort of resting his head on my
Bunny bag.
bunny bag. He looks.
I think actually he's looking side of it.
He looks a little. He looks like he needs a little scritch.
He's getting design ideas.
Hang on, my shawl fell off. Okay. So any shade of red, at least a portion of your project. We've opened it up this year to pinks and anything you can justify as a shade of red.
Yeah, not whites, but pink, red.
You can't
mauve,
justify
wine.
red as
well,
white as its shade.
someone had said like Valentine's hearts, and I agree with that, but not white or purple. We're talking the different pinks and the different reds.
Yeah.
But not purple, not white or anything like that.
Yeah.
Has to be definitely have some shading in it.
Yeah, shade of red. And there's one for posting for being drawn for prizes, 1 whip per project per week, and your FO whenever you happen to finish it, even if you posted a whip picture already that week for that project.
Right.
Double post. No double posting for this one because my rules are simple.
That's what she says.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's what we normally do. Just knitted, crocheted, red, pink, or their variations thereof, and whips and FOs. And you know the rules. You know the drill. You know the drill. Keep those things coming. You guys have got so many really great projects in there. I'm absolutely amazed. I think it's Octoon Kitten, Rachel. Rachel? I think her name is Rachel. Octoon Kitten. She has some beautiful, beautiful color work stuff. Every time I look around, there's color work. She is fantastic. It doesn't even look like she makes mistakes. It's just beautiful stuff. If you haven't, everything is beautiful, but if you haven't seen Octoon Kitten's color work, check out the thread because it's really fantastic.
I'll have to see if I can put one up at the beginning so people can have an example of
I don't know how to spell Octoon Kitten. Rachel. I think it's Rachel. I apologize if it's not. Okay. You wanted to give some facts.
Yes. First,
just the facts, ma'am.
Check out the cardiac video thread. Bonnie's posted a few things in there. I believe a couple of other people have, but it's mostly Bonnie. She posted something on stroke. And there is also an awesome Z-Dog MD music video about the signs of stroke.
Right.
But
that was pretty good, actually. That's one of the few things that doesn't make me feel uncomfortable to watch.
yeah, he does a good job. He needs to do one on CPR. Well, he did one on CPR. He needs to do one on the signs of cardiac. Because he did one on CPR that was no hand CPR.
The only one I remember is the one that they used that rock song to.
Oh, he uses a bunch of rock songs.
No, but you know what I'm talking about because you said you actually used it in school too.
Oh, no, that wasn't him.
Oh,
that was... You're talking about Sexy Back, and they used Diagnosis Winky Bach.
What?
It's a heart condition. Winky Bach is...
But what was the song? That's all I'm concerned with.
Sexy Back?
No, that's not what I was talking about. No, that's not what I was talking about. I would have remembered that. No. Wait a minute, go ahead.
Okay, anyway. Cardiac facts. So...
Well, you didn't go through the stuff.
Yeah, I did already.
Okay, I don't listen to you.
I know, obviously.
No, who is our co-host?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Melissa, she forgot you.
Sexy Mama?
She forgot you, Melissa. I never forget you. She forgot you. Bad, Talia.
I think I said Sexy Mama. It says spicy. That's because I said Sexy Back.
Melissa. See what I have to live with? Melissa's a good sport. We love her. She brings a lot to the podcast, along. And
I'm sorry, Melissa.
no, she's not. She really isn't. Melissa
I need a
is.
cup of tea.
She's our wonderful co-host. She is spicy homemaker, not spicy mama, not sexy mama, not sexy homemaker. She's spicy mama. Please, Melissa, don't aspirate your coffee. Okay. We love Melissa to pieces. I wish she was closer. I would love to get together with her and meet her because I think that she's just very special. And she
Okay,
brings
I think
so
I
much
can
to
get
us.
myself together to do facts again in a moment.
Yes, Spicy Homemaker. Check out her podcast because to be eligible for her pop-up prizes and things, you have to be a member of her group. Because we're doing it together, we'd like you to be members of both groups
Yes.
to get the prize. And she's well worth watching.
Yes, she is.
She really is. She'll keep you in stitches.
Okay.
I do apologize to her, Melissa.
Okay, so cardiac facts. These come from the American Heart Association and the American Stroke Association, and they're working in conjunction for the stroke facts. But in case of both heart attack and stroke, if you believe that someone is having either of these things, time is brain or time is muscle. So the longer you wait, the more you compromise your heart, you can cause greater damage, or the more you can risk having residual effects that can't be reversed for your stroke. Don't drive yourself. Call 911 right away, or have someone else call 911 so EMS can pick you up. Even if you're not necessarily worried about your own safety, you could be a danger to someone else on the road. What will occur right after you get to the hospital for a cardiac, to make sure to determine whether or not you're having a heart attack, they'll do an EKG right away. They'll get stickers all over your chest and see the electrical activity of your heart. If they think you're having a stroke, they'll do a CT of your head right away. That's a CAT scan. MRI is your definitive diagnosis, but if they're quickly trying to determine, they'll do a CT, and they'll try to determine at that point if you're having either a clot in there that needs to be busted up, so that an ischemic stroke, or if you're having a hemorrhagic one where you're bleeding.
Wouldn't they want to stay away from that MRI because it shakes everything so much? And if they think you have
That
a clot
gives
or
you
something,
a better view.
but aren't they afraid of shaking the clot? Because that thing, I hate MRIs. They shake. You feel like you're shaking apart from the inside.
The MRI is actually the gold standard
I don't
for
care.
determining stroke.
I don't-
But CT is what they'll do first because it's quicker.
Right.
And time is brain.
Well, don't they say, doesn't it take a while to warm up that machine? Because they say if you have to stop, they have to make another appointment. They just can't put you back in. They have to rewarm the machine up.
I honestly would have to check with someone because I don't deal with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because when I went in for a CAT scan, not for a CAT scan, for an MRI for something else, it was like, yeah, if you stop this, you're going to have to make another appointment. So,
Yes, for the CT scan, it's
not so
quicker.
much, yeah.
The reason why you want to have a quick determination for a CT is because if you are having what's called an ischemic stroke, where you have a clot, they can give you a clot buster, but it has to be given within 4.5 hours after onset of neurological symptoms. So, a clot buster is commonly called TPA.
How can they tell how long it's been?
If you were with someone, it's easiest if they think you're within the window. If they think you're past the window, they can't risk using TPA because it's not going to really help you anyway. So that's what you would do immediately if they thought that you were having a stroke. If they thought you were having a heart attack, on the other hand, we usually do what's called MONA, which is morphine, oxygen, nitro, aspirin. Basically, the idea is we're trying to open up those blood vessels to get better blood flow to the heart. If we catch the heart attack early on, you can get down into the catheterization lab, get a stent placed if you need to, hopefully avoid having to bypass. The quicker you get something done, the less damage you can possibly cause. How do you know if you're having either a stroke or a heart attack? For stroke, and this is actually shown very well in the ZDogg MD video, they usually tell you FAST. It's an acronym. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. And then T stands for time to call 911. Because otherwise you could be outside of your window for TPA. So if you notice those symptoms developing, you have less than 5 hours to try to get them to the hospital and get them their TPA. Other symptoms you should know: numbness or weakness of the face, arm, or leg, especially on one side of the body, sudden confusion or trouble speaking or understanding speech. That's one of the things you can actually test easily. You can start talking to a person who you believe is having a stroke and see how clear their speech is. If they aren't making much sense or they appear confused, you could be dealing with a stroke and call 911. If they're having trouble seeing in one or both eyes, or they suddenly develop trouble walking, or a severe headache with no known cause. For heart attack, we've run through these signs before, but if you're noticing chest discomfort on other areas of the upper body, this includes arm pain, neck or jaw pain, particularly on the left side. Some people, particularly women, will get abdominal pain. Unfortunately, with women and diabetics, sometimes you will just get exhaustion. Shortness of breath, breaking out of cold sweat, nausea, lightheadedness. Women are somewhat more likely than men to experience the other symptoms, not just the chest pain, but the ones like shortness of breath, nausea and vomiting, back or jaw pain. And I don't mention abdominal pain here, but what will tell people a lot is they'll be like, oh, I'm having heartburn. Well, what you think is heartburn could actually be a heart attack. Especially if it's not relieved by your acid reflux, like Tums or something. So even if you're not sure if you're having a heart attack or a stroke, get it checked out, because time is of the essence. Talking about 911 there. Okay. So yeah, that's just the basic facts as highlighted by the American Heart and the American Stroke Association. I would highly recommend going to both of those sites. I'd highly recommend, if you ever think that you're having either a stroke or a heart attack or someone that you love, don't worry about, I'll be so embarrassed if I'm wrong. No, just get it checked out.
It's better to get it checked out.
Because the quicker you act, the more likely you will save muscles, save brain.
Or save a life.
Yes, save a life. If you are able to get to the TPA, you might not have the residual effects of having some weakness for the rest of your life related to stroke. That residual may resolve, or you might not even have any residual. So, yeah, act fast in both cases.
Yes. Okay, anything else you want to say about that?
Nope, it's good.
Okay, we have to break, so Talia's going to need her tea, and we'll come back for the whips and FOs and things like that, so we'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right.
Bye. We're back.
Bye.
Okay, on to rough drafts. I don't have too many. 2, 3, kind of 4, kind of. Okay.
All right, I have. Okay, I have 9.
Well, you can just do 3.
Yeah. Make a cup of tea. Okay. So the first, I don't think I worked much on this one, but I do think I worked on it a little bit.
Pretty owl bag.
Yes, in my Ploverbird owl bag are the paid in full socks, not just boring boot socks pattern by Corinne Walcher. And I'm using Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein in the colorway Perfectly Reckless. And this is for Mom, because it's actually her yarn.
I picked that up at the Maryland Sheep and Wool this year.
Yep. But I already knit a pair of socks out of this yarn for myself.
Did you see Maureen's socks? We haven't watched the newest one.
Mm-mm.
Those worsted weight Gryffindor socks.
I think I might have seen them on Instagram.
They are really...
Well, she's a colorwork queen.
But they are very thick. They look like slippers, and they're so beautiful. They are so beautiful.
She's a colorwork queen.
Well, she and Rachel. And Turbo Knitter is the king.
Yes.
Why is this not doing what it's supposed to do?
Because you want it to do what it's supposed to do.
It was writing.
Sometimes you have to do...
Yeah. No, my paper's not gonna...
So that is this pair of socks. Got a little bit of work. Then, in my... I think this only got a little bit of work too. I have to find the Debbie Reese Designs bag. Won this from Melissa the Spicy Homemaker podcast. Last week I showed that I finished the first sock.
Pretty. Is this superwash?
It should be. It's Heidi's yarn.
Not all of Heidi's is superwash. Most of it is, I think.
It doesn't say superwash on it, but I guess she doesn't prefer superwash. I'll just hand wash.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna take. I forgot to bring them with me. You remember my tomato garden socks? The really pretty orange ones with red and green.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They shrunk.
They're Davina's now.
They're Davina's now. So I'm gonna be hand washing all my socks from now on. I'm kind of depressed about it because I love those socks.
But look at this. You can see. Look at that pattern.
Oh, there we go.
Isn't that gorgeous?
And thank you, Vonnie, for the screenshots. But this colorway is Phoenix Ember, and it's the werewolf base. First sock is done.
Better than a sock blocker.
I don't like sock blockers. They stretch socks out.
Yeah. Maybe you stretch it on your foot like you do a hat on your head.
And then, I think I am just out of the ribbing for the second sock.
What is like a 3-inch rib? 4-inch?
Oh, she has a number of rows.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, this is originally a sock pattern. So I just went with the number of rows that she said to go. She didn't go by measurement.
Is that Kay's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is the one that I had adjusted.
She writes it. If you haven't seen it, Kay's oleander pattern?
Something like that.
Oleander? I forget. Her shawl pattern is out.
Yeah, the new
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
one. So that's the Cozy Hearth socks. It's the 3 Chimneys pattern by K.F. Jones of Baker Bears fame. And that was one that, if you're new, that is actually a finger weight pattern. I'm just using a DK weight yarn, and I adjusted the count. I redid the math. Okay, and then my last one before Mom. In my nursing caps on a dark field bag.
It's a black field.
It's a black field, you're right.
Looks like a chalkboard.
Are my Shadow Cat socks.
Yeah.
And this is the Miss L's Basic 6-ply sock pattern by Miss L. I'm using Undead yarn on the Witch base in the colorway Hexen Beast self-striping. And this is also for Mom. This is her yarn.
So pretty.
Finished sock number 1.
I like those.
And I like the toe for this. It's a little different than most toes. It's a little more rounded. Just slightly different than my normal toe.
Very pretty.
And it does fit. It fits me, so it should fit Mom.
Yeah. It's very soft.
And
even softer than the other one that I just had on my hand.
well, this is a very soft yarn. I just barely started the second sock.
Can I have it here?
Oh, that's normal. Sometimes there's a little bit of a hole when you pick up the gusset. And if I have to, I can always sew that.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's not a mistake. That actually occurs when you pick up
pretty?
gusset stitches.
It's almost like it has ribbing all the way down, almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does.
I guess it does all in the front, doesn't it? Must be so pretty.
Yeah, if that bothers you, I can always sew that up. That does occur sometimes with socks.
You don't see it unless it's on your foot.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a normal occurrence with socks. Some people sew them up, some people pick up an extra stitch. I always find that picking up an extra stitch helps myself.
You don't, or you do?
I don't find that it helps necessarily. I just find that I develop a different hole.
Oh, that's no good.
And it's not that it's a weak area in the knitting or anything like that.
Watch it, you're gonna spill.
It's just how it pulls.
Okay. In my Black Horse bag, this is my Me, My Dog, and Some Yarn bag by Kim. Kim, I'm glad to see that you are settling in. Your craft room looks gorgeous. That I've seen on Instagram. I hope your dad is doing well. This is my Violently Happy shawl. It's just something I'm doing out of my head. Didn't get a whole lot of work. Nothing got a whole lot of work this time around, but I'm using US 8 millimeter Knit Picks Circulars. These are what the words.
I'm not familiar. I don't remember. Because I don't use them
These
anymore.
harmonies. These are the
Yeah.
harmonies.
I don't use the Knit Picks Needles anymore.
The interchangeables. Well, I use them so seldom that I completely
Yeah.
forgot. And the yarn is the Vampiri base, Undid Yarn Vampiri base, Violently Happy Accident colorway. And I did some work, but not a whole lot. I think I did a couple rows on this. The rows are starting to get long. I have no idea how many stitches I have on here. But you can see it's, as I've said repeatedly, that it's going to be kind of a long, slender kind of shawl. It's going to almost be like a scarf. And the colors, that's actually pretty good. True to color. It's blues and pinks and oranges. Orange is not red, right?
Orange is not
Orange
red.
is not red. Pink. But this is what I'm doing. And this is very, very soft. And as I said a number of times, this is so far out of my color palette, except for the blues and greens, that I'm surprised I like it so
Well, it's
much.
predominantly
I do.
pink.
I just love it, and it's so soft. I mean, it's just beautifully soft. So yeah, I was hoping to have this finished relatively quickly, but we'll see. I'm in no rush. The bag is a sock size, I think, for Black Horse, for Me, My Dog, and Some Yarn. But it's a good size one. I honestly didn't know if I would be able to work any projects in it when I first got it, and I was really happy. I use this a lot. And I love this. I could just clip it on somewhere. Okay.
Okay, so my next project is Cardiac Read Along 2016, which is the Cabled Knee Highs pattern by Deborah Norville. And this is in the Cardiac Read Along. I'm sorry, in the Knit Red book.
Yay.
And one of these will be going for a prize.
Right. We'll have a knit red and a crochet red going out as prizes.
I actually got a decent amount of work done on this. I'm using Dragonfly Fibers Traveler in the colorway Airport Hot Sauce. And I'm actually about an inch away from having to do the heel.
That's such a pretty color.
And this is in my Plover Bird Kissing Bunnies bag.
That's her sweater size.
Yeah.
But she's still not open.
So as you can see, quite a bit of work. Here's the calf. And this will stretch. Here's the calf, and then it's making its way down to the leg.
Is that supposed to go over your pants or under them? Just,
Under, I guess.
yeah, because it's such a high sock. I was just curious.
Well, it's a knee-high sock.
Yeah. It's not. It doesn't look like it's slouchy enough or big enough to go over pants.
Yeah. I mean, if you did like
Skinny pants, maybe?
skinny pants
or leg warmers.
leg warmer,
Not leg warmers.
No,
leggings.
leggings,
Yeah.
you could probably wear it over leggings.
That would be cute with black leggings and a red long shirt.
Mhm.
It'd be cute.
So,
80s style with the off the shoulder.
a plaid skirt.
Yeah, that would. Be
If you had
cute.
like a plaid skirt,
a red top or
a red top or a white top,
yeah.
with maybe a white top with a red little wife beater underneath, and red and black plaid skirt and black leggings, and then this.
We're going
You look
classic.
you look very preppy that way.
Yes, you would. Very classic.
So,
Very pretty.
these are fun socks.
Yes, they are. I love the design on them.
And actually quite an easy pattern. Very mindless.
I like it when they're deceptively easy.
The cables aren't necessarily hard. It's just
I like cables.
it's more complicated cable ones.
Yeah.
This is not a complicated cable. This is an easy cable.
Well, it kind of reminds me. I mean, it's a different cable, but it kind of reminds me of the kind of cable I'm doing on the mitts that I have. That pattern that you like so much.
Mhm.
It's just,
Well, I've memorized this pattern.
right.
At least, for the straightaway. When I start moving into shaping again, I'll have to look at the pattern again. Next one is April the Easter Bunny, which is the Oops a Bunny pattern
Right.
by me.
Is that the purple one?
Yes. Undead Yarn in the Cemetery Basin, the colorways Grape Ape, and Atlantis is for the eyes. I was surprised by how many people were excited by a purple bunny.
It's very cute.
So
It's a pale purple, so it's not like this monstrosity.
yeah.
It's adorable. It's adorable. Is that the body?
Yeah.
Teeny tiny body.
So
Aww. Look
there's
at the way the eyes bring out the blue here. There's blue, kind of blue purple here.
yeah, and then the
Oh,
back,
look at that. He doesn't look like a deformed mushroom.
and the beginning of a
Aw.
I think this is the beginning of an ear.
Ear.
Yeah, it looks like an ear. I can't remember which piece I was working on. So,
Well, it's not a tail, that's for sure.
yeah,
It's not a wing.
right. So I believe I'm working on the ear.
Ear.
So
Because you haven't, have you done the muzzle yet?
no,
Okay.
so
So
and it's not
cute.
shaped like a muzzle.
No,
I
it's not.
believe it's ear.
It's
so there we go.
adorable. Look at him. He's so cute.
He needs to get a
April,
little bit more
she.
love. She needs more love.
Yes, she does.
So,
So pretty.
first bunny, and then I have another bunny, and then it's your turn.
Okay.
In my Batman plover bird bag. Actually, that last bag, the bird's bag, was Knitting's my bag.
Mm-hmm.
In the Batman plover bird bag is Candy, Oops the Bunny pattern by me, and I'm using Lady Fur Co. Creations 100% superwash merino worsted in the colorway Cotton Candy Oops. And I do think I might have enough yarn.
And the eyes are starting to pop.
Yeah, and it showed up really well when we were at the bookstore.
Yeah, when I took that picture, her diva picture. If you haven't seen the
Yeah,
Instagram,
I had no idea she was taking a picture of me.
I said I was going to take a picture. She just kind of went, because she doesn't listen to me.
I thought you meant you were going to be taking a picture of the bunny.
Why would I take a picture of the bunny?
For your yarn.
But no, I want the finished project for my yarn.
Yeah, I didn't register that.
She doesn't listen.
So,
So cute.
the beginning of the body.
Look at that.
I'm actually on the straightaway, so.
You're poking him in the eye.
Actually, I'm just under his eye. Her
There you
eye.
go. So cute.
So, there she is.
I think once the muzzle's on there too, some of that, there's a little bit of my yarn goes blue right under the eye,
Yeah,
so
it
it kind
does.
of blends in, but if the muzzle's there, it'll help to,
Yeah, and it looks like a faded, patriotic.
I think it looks like cotton candy. Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
In my Kiki Boo owl bag, holiday owl bag, I think this is Denise's medium bag, is my, haven't named this yet, my baby hat. And it's in the,
It's purple.
colorway is Royal Canyon. Is that what this is? Royal Canyon?
Royal Canyon.
This is Royal Canyon. This is, I love this chunky. So that's the colorway. And I usually get about, I don't think I can get 3. I can get like 2.5 maybe out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried. I still have a little more of the tiger eye yarn or whatever that yarn color is. I will see if I can get a full baby hat out of that. But right now, I wanted to work a different color, and this is what I am working on. So I like working. This is really nice for the loom, and it's soft and it's warm for the baby, so that's really nice. I think if I use a worsted weight on this instead of a chunky, I might be able to get a more of a summer weight hat.
Yeah,
It'll be a
probably.
little more open. And I was reading about looms that you can do a stitch where you do a 1/2 or a 1/3, and it makes a little bit of tighter stitch.
Huh.
So maybe I wouldn't have to change my yarn. I mean, I wouldn't have to worry about the worsted being quite so, because I think this is a bulky loom.
Okay.
I've been trying to measure. I finally figured out how to measure because the plastic ones don't have the measurements on them. It took me forever to find a place, and I'll talk about that later, about how to find what size yarn to use when it's not marked. Okay.
So I have my last 3. In my...
This is that. You have 3?
How many do you have?
Well, I've got 1 plus the 2 that aren't really
Maybe I'll go
yarn projects.
1, 2, just one at a time now.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Okay, in my Kikaboo bags, autism bag, and this is not a fabric we usually see for autism awareness, which is really cool.
Denise was so generous. For those of you who don't remember or weren't with us at Autism Awareness this past year, Denise gave us 4 bags.
Yes.
2, 1 for each of us, and 2 for you to win. And we chose the wedge bags because we got to choose. And you guys, 2 of you won a drawstring bag of this fabric, and it's fantastic.
Yes. And it says Hope on the
Like my birdie. Hope has to make her appearance. Where is she?
There she is.
Hope makes her appearance.
Hey,
in the Autism
you
Awareness
dropped your
colorway. Oh. In the Autism Awareness colorway from Packing Knits. My other Autism Awareness colorway is in Bastion over here.
Mm-hmm. So, this is Totally Fleer's fault. And this is a Pippin Socks pattern by Claire Ellen.
I thought everything was Totally Fleer's.
Well, this is Totally Fleer's fault. I'm using Miss Babs Tart in the colorway Electric Turquoise.
That's really pretty.
And I got all the patterns in this, this and several other of her ebooks for free.
Yeah, when I went back to get that, it wasn't free anymore. So I didn't need it. I just thought if I do socks, I would get it. But it's probably best that I didn't because I don't know when I'll do socks.
Let's see. I think that the
You're
cables are starting to show a little bit.
You're working on 3 plus 1.
Yeah, because that's what it suggests I do. And when I'm working cables, I do what they tell me to.
Right. I was just curious.
Yeah.
It looks small. Is it real stretchy?
Yeah, it'll stretch. So that's
Boy, isn't that beautiful?
the front there. It's not showing up really well.
It's not. It's more of a turquoisey blue than it looks almost royal on the screen as we look at it, but it's really more of a blue green.
So you got the front. What I think is probably the front cable there, and then here is the side.
It's hard to see
It's hard to see right now.
because the cables are starting right down here.
Yeah, and they're just starting to show a little bit.
It's gonna be really pretty.
It's going to be gorgeous, but it's still a bit early to tell.
Now you may hear some extraneous noise. My husband just came home.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you finished with what you want to say there?
Yes.
Okay. In my autism awareness bag is. Oh, this is. I can't show you this. I only got to do a little bit of work on this. The reason I had done so little work is my hands have really been bothering me. I had to stop completely. So, this is Robin. This is the Intrepid Robin from the Grace and the American Robin pattern, which is in testing by Franciscan Gypsy. And I hope to be able to get back to this maybe at the end of this week or early next week. I'm not pushing my hands at all. So,
No.
this is the top of my to-do list though because I do want to finish it. And I love it. It's a lot of fun. I wish I could show you something, but I can't. So, in my bag, Autism Awareness bag, it's going bye-bye. Okay, now your turn.
Yes. Speaking of patterns and testing, I have Scarlet, who is Sparkle the Unipony. It's a Sparkle the Unipony pattern by me. And I'm using Red Heart Brava Sport in the colorways red and white. And this was started because I had a tutorial that needed to be fixed. That will be fixed whenever I happen to finish this. I'm not rushing this.
Right. No need to.
And Mom had a crochet pony in these colors as a child, so this will not have the unicorn horn.
I'm looking forward to that when you get to it.
Yeah,
There's no rush on it.
that's a big toy.
Yeah. Okay. My next one is not really strictly speaking yarn related, okay? I have been doing some research. First on
Did you want me to do my last project first, since it's not, since you don't have any other?
That's up to you.
Because if you're talking, I'd rather do a project, and then you can talk without.
Well, that's
me.
fine. That's fine.
That might be best. Okay, in my Kickaboo Bags teacups, tea bag, and this is actually tea.
And that was part of a kit that we bought from. I bought mine is brown and yours is green.
Yeah. And this is Raph, Simple Skip Socks by Adrienne Koo. This is an old project. I started this in August of 2014. I pulled this out of Hypernation. I got home from work one day and just saw the bag and got
I
it.
thought you
urged.
said Raph. Is that
Yeah, Raph.
Yeah, is
That
that
was
after the
it.
turtle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't realize you had done one like that.
And this is Undead Yarn Vampire in the colorway Freddy. Well, for a long time I've had this sock finished. Very long time. So, and it fits.
Very nice.
That one's been finished forever. So, when I picked up this one,
You said this is the old vampire base? Yeah.
this is the old vampire base. When I picked up this one, I had not yet started the heel flap.
Wow.
I have done from here all of this. So it's gotten a lot of work on it. I'm making my way down the foot, and
I'm going to have to go off screen. I think I have something on my face.
so this has gotten a lot of work on it. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks I can have this done, and this won't count as the for the Bakery Bears summer socks because this is too old. But it'll be nice to have this off the needles. I don't even know what size needles I'm using. I didn't put it on my project page. I just continue to use the same needles I had been using.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I have been doing some research because, in the interest of saving my hands, I've been doing some research. I've pulled out my knitting looms again, but I've been having some issues trying to figure out what yarn to use with what looms because, especially the plastic ones, they don't mark it. And it took me quite a while to find anything. So I've been printing things out that I found, and Knitting Board Chat has a lot of information on this. She has a whole bunch of stuff, and she has how to measure your gauge, how to measure the distance between the pegs. You don't measure like from edge to edge, you measure from center to center.
Oh.
And she says, what you use for which measurements, and how to, if you do 2 strands of this weight yarn, what you get, and things like that. So it's really helpful. And then something else that I found that was not on, she goes through the knitting looms and boards and things. I need to get an A10, I think it's called. I actually found it on a site off Amazon, and with extra pegs and stuff, because apparently you can do anything on that.
Oh, okay.
Anything on that. Any weight, anything. You just move things around, which is helpful. But then I found a PDF file that is now free. It's Loom Knitting Getting Started on the Round Loom by Ann Bipes. And she is very specific about stitches. This is where I got that stitch I was telling you about, where you can do 1/2 stitches or 1/3 or 2/4 and get a slightly different, denser pattern. So I'm interested in maybe trying some of that. In lieu of, what I'm gonna have to learn to purl and everything eventually, but she talks about different ways of binding off and all kinds of things. So this was the loom knitting start that I got for research. I'm about to start a notebook for this. And then the other notebook I need to start is for my dyeing. And I did a lot of research. You can see this. Okay. I started with Jacquard site because that's the dyes. I have acid dyes. No, I have not started yet, Heidi. I'm waiting for my pot to come in, and I'm also signed up for a dyeing class at Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. So I would feel a lot more comfortable if I went there first. So right now I'm kind of sticking with the regular food coloring and things like that. I'm still trying to figure out how to keep it from bleeding quite as much. I tend to tell people if I do that yarn with food coloring to make sure you wash it in cold and dry it flat so it doesn't bleed, and maybe wash it with some. I've read somewhere that if you wash it with a shot of vinegar, it helps. I read that, I think it was on the Rocklands. I forget what it is with the Reflections at Rocklands site. I think it was. But anyway, I found some stuff from Jacquard's dyes. They go in. They give you all these different methods: stovetop, top-loading washing machine, front-loading washing machine. They don't say anything about microwave. And I don't know if, they always say, dedicate your pots and utensils and things for dyeing. Don't cook food in them. Now, I can't afford to buy a microwave just for dyeing. If I clean the microwave out, it should be fine if I cook the yarn in there, right? If I heat it up in there. So anybody who dyes yarn, Heidi, Andy, Packy Knits, Maureen, any of you guys who dye yarn, let me know what you do in terms of that. I do have, my husband said I could take one of our old crock pots. I have a stock pot coming in. I have a couple of old turkey roaster type things I don't use because I have a standalone plug-in. So I will have, some options. But if I use the turkey roaster, you use that on top of the stove, but I've seen things where you can bake it as well. I mean, I'm not going to get a dedicated oven for that, so I've assumed that I can do the microwave as long as I clean it. But let me know if I'm wrong. I would like to know that. They talk about palette and all that kind of stuff. And then I found something about, there's a site that talks all about dealing with Kool-Aid and food colorings. And there was a whole bunch of stuff there. And I know that a lot of people kind of don't like that, but I think it's a nice option, at least for now. And I think some of the techniques will be workable. They were talking about a way to do self-striping without using a warping board, which is good for me right now because if I want to try it, I don't necessarily want to buy a warping board to just try self-striping. I don't really have any great yearning to do a self-striping, but Taya likes it, so I might consider trying it. So I'm really experimenting, and I appreciate all the encouragement that everybody is giving me for this and the questions and answers and things. I've had a couple of conversations with Heidi, Undead Yarn. She's been very helpful, and I really appreciate that. Andy, I'm probably going to also be talking to you because you have done some amazing things with yarn. That's Andrew Sue Knits. If you haven't seen her sock blanks, you need to go to her Etsy shop or watch her podcast. She is a true artist. I've never seen anything like the sock blanks she does. They're absolutely incredible. I told Ty there was one on bunnies I almost picked up for her, but there's a couple there that if I bought them, I couldn't use them. I would hang them up.
I'm not
in
sure
a
I
frame.
could use the bunny ones.
I would put it in a frame and hang it in my craft room. So Andy, for me, you've missed the mark for dyeing for sock blanks. I'm not using it for that. I'm going to put it up on the wall. So, beautiful artwork. She's very talented. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's my last of my whips. These, and you will be hearing more of these as I go through this. Things I'm learning and stuff, questions, because I know I can just PM people, but I kind of like to just throw things out at you, see what you guys think.
See if you actually pay attention.
See if you actually pay attention. No, stop doing that. Hold on, my
screen went blank.
My screen.
Well, we're going on to bookshelf anyway.
Okay, hold on. I'm losing. I do apologize. My Kindle apparently doesn't like to stay for the entire podcast.
Well, neither of them do.
Okay.
So, on the bookshelf. If you've been paying attention, if you've been on Rav since about 11 o'clock midnight.
This past night?
Yeah, midnight this morning. You might have seen that Grace and the American Robin is now up for testing. I finished the tutorial toy. I hope to be writing a blog post tonight, including a picture with me wearing my
wearing your Grayson.
No, wearing my GoPro camera.
Oh right, yeah.
Which I already, if you were on Instagram, you already saw it. But
this one's Dick, right?
No, that one's Grayson.
Okay.
I attached the wings. I'm sorry, no, you're right. This one's Dick. This one's Grayson.
I thought so.
I apologize. You're right. This one's Dick. They're very similar.
Just she put the wings on differently.
Yeah, I wrote the wings originally one way, and then I decided there was an easier way to put it on, and I changed it.
Very cute.
But they basically look the same.
They look like bowling pins.
So
they're cute. I love them. I just mean that they, if you put more, cat bowling pins.
You'd throw a cat at them?
Daddy would. They're adorable. This one's Grayson, right?
That one's Grayson. This one's Dick.
Because it's hard to tell here, but Taya attached this one with. Well, can I say?
No.
No, I can't. Never mind. She attached it differently.
Yes.
Cute. I forget it's in testing.
Yes.
Because it seems like this has been finished forever.
Hasn't even been that long.
It hasn't. It just seems like it
Yeah.
has because it came so quickly. It's a quick crochet.
It is.
It's so cute.
Robin's exiting stage right.
Snagglepuss always goes stage left.
Mm-hmm.
Although sometimes when it's stage right. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. but
I have
anyway.
no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm dating myself. Snagglepuss is a cartoon. Okay, my first finished object.
I think stage left is usually where you're supposed to exit.
I think it just depends on where you're at. This is my Tiger Eyes baby hat, and I know I haven't taken a picture of it yet. So this will be going to the pregnancy center, most likely. And it looks just like my English garden because it's the same yarn. And Taya has that one, so I can't show you that there are two of them.
Yes.
This actually striped a little more than the other one. That's interesting. Do you have any more FOs?
No.
Okay, I do have one more FO. Well, actually two. I'll show you the disaster first. In my Turbo Knitter Mickey Mouse bag. I love this bag. It makes me very happy. I did dye two skeins of yarn. This was worsted weight. And I've learned from this experience that the microwave in my back room, I have two microwaves. The microwave in the back room is much hotter because it felted this. Brian, you showed us yarn that was a little felted. This takes the cake. Yours looks much better than mine. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is just... I could probably pull some of this apart. This was worsted weight. It was supposed to be for Talia. It was worsted weight, and it was not super wash.
It was supposed to become an owl.
It's very soft the way it is, but it's just... It felted a whole lot.
We had a lot of felting problems this week.
Yes, we did. So, I mean, it's coming apart. Some of it's coming apart. I might be able to pull it apart. I don't know if Talia would want to knit with it or
I
not.
could try.
I might try to pull it apart.
I'm going to be knitting with it, happy crocheting with it.
Maybe crocheting with it. I mean, the colorway's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it's close. That's what it... So it wasn't bad. It just felted a whole lot. So I learned that the microwave was being persnickety. It wouldn't let me do a percentage of heat, and it was so much hotter than my microwave in the kitchen that it just felted it. So that was a little disappointing. It's still almost a little bit damp. But my other one kind of made up for it. This has not yet been reskeined. This is a bulky weight, and I believe there's 120 yards of this. This is superwash merino wool, bulky, and it is 137 yards. So it's actually a pretty good amount of yarn in this. It's not yet been reskeined. This is using a Meridai, and I used blue and green and either a turquoise or an aqua, I forget which. I think it was turquoise. So I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, it turned out very nicely.
There was, no matter how much I washed it, there was still a fair amount of bleeding, and I did have a good amount of, vinegar in this.
And I feel like it was kind of similar. You had one that you called Under the Sea of the...
Right. And that was kind of what I was going for.
Was it this one that was Under the Sea?
That might have been. It's a little bit lighter. There's some... This is actually probably more like, springtime at the lake or something.
Right.
Or in the mountains or something like that. But anyway, whatever you think.
It might be more similar to this one.
Yeah. Is that one of mine too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is more similar to that one. The green's a little different.
Yeah.
But not much. So, yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Maybe I don't know. I haven't decided. So that's that. My dyeing adventures. But this one... yeah. So we'll do that one later. Okay. That's it for my FOs.
Okay, so we go on to royalties.
Do you have royalties?
I have two.
Okay, I have Well, I have 3, but 2 come from the same place, just one in the mail and one not. So 2 and 2, I guess.
Okay. Got a great Courses mug. It came with an order I made.
Awesome.
So, because I need another mug.
Like you need a hole in the head.
Mm-hmm. But it says Great Courses on it. I don't have a Great Courses mug. Well, now I do, but...
The first one that I have, I got gifted a wonderful pattern
Oh, yeah, I forgot to show mine.
by the lovely designer Laura Smoot. Laura Smoot has 2 new designs out. You need to check them out. One is a shawl and one is socks.
She gave me the socks.
Actually, it's not a shawl, it's a cowl.
Yeah.
She gave Taya the socks and she gave me this Cowabunga. How great is that? I need to do this in green because blue is my favorite color, but Cowabunga, it has to be green.
Either you choose your favorite turtle and you go with their color.
Yeah, I could. My favorite turtle is Raph.
I was going to say, you always liked Raph.
Yeah. But I like Raph and I like Leo. And Leo's what?
Blue.
Blue. So I could do blue. But I like all the turtles. I'm kind of a
I've always liked Donnie and Mikey.
Mikey, yeah.
Although, yeah, all of them are good.
But anyway, she was very generous. I'm looking forward to doing this as soon as my hand cooperates a little bit more. Laura, thank you so much for thinking of us. This is just so much fun. I mean, it's just... You need to check out her design. If you're looking for... She has lovely socks.
I went and queued a bunch of them.
Oh, I know. I've got a few things of hers on my queue. And I have one thing I'm making I haven't had a chance to do. I'm using Maureen's yarn and Laura's pattern. And I just haven't been able to get back to it. But she's got some she's very talented. She does have a Rav group that if you go, you can, it's not overly active, but she does post her new designs there, notifications and things. And yeah, she's fantastic. You need to check her out if you are looking for some awesome patterns to make. Ooh,
You're dark again.
I'm dark again. Here we go. All right. So that's one for me.
And then I picked up, because I am looking at more fingering weight socks simply because a lot of the fancy cabled socks that I like are fingering weight. So I picked up a Chai Gu DPN set. And they do mark, even on their little DPNs.
Can you read them?
Yeah. Chai Gu, this is a 2.25 millimeter.
Where is it?
There.
I can't read that.
I'm not sure if anyone else can either.
I see the markings, I just can't read it.
You can't see it on the screen.
There it is.
It's going to be too bright. You're just going to have to trust me that.
If I wore my glasses, I could read them.
You could probably read it on the bigger one. Well, and maybe not. I can, but...
Yeah, I can kind of see. Let me see. These are... Yeah, I can see the writing is right here.
Yeah.
I can't read it, but that I could probably do it with my glasses, so that's no problem.
So it's a nice little set, and like I said, what I really do like about the Chai Gus is they mark their needles, and it doesn't fade on their DPNs. Not that I've noticed anyway.
Okay. Now, I got yarn from Hobby Lobby. I know I'm having a little trouble with my hands, and why am I buying yarn? Because I'm an optimist, and I'm hoping that...
She's an optimist who needs to be constantly reminded that she's an optimist.
Yeah. I picked up some... I've had a lot of comments on my Bankhead hat, which is the Jazzy Stripes yarn. That is this color. And I went looking. I found out that they discontinued this yarn. So I went to the Hobby Lobby site, because they didn't have it at the store.
No, it is.
And I got another Jazzy Stripe. I got... These are all striped yarns. This is Sherbet Stripe. Okay, this is Jazzy Stripe, which you've seen on my hat that I'm working on. This one is Sea Spray Stripe.
I wonder why it's discontinued.
I don't know. And this one is Aegean Stripe. And the reason I knew that this was discontinued was I did a search for some reason on Ravelry, and everybody, I checked, so discontinued. So I went to see if anyone was destashing, and I must have gone through like the first several pages, and nobody was destashing. They were all holding on to it. So I said, I need to make sure I have, because I can get 2 or 3 hats out of this. And if for some reason I can't crochet and knit, I'll give it to Talia and she can make socks. Because
she'll be able to crochet and knit.
This is, yeah, I hope so. This is 252 yards. So, of worsted weight. And make a nice toy or whatever. Yeah, Davina's praying for me, so I have no doubt I will be. Prayers will
And
be
she's also
appreciated.
trying not to brace quite so much. She might have been over bracing.
Yeah. So this is that. Do you have another? Oh, no, I stepped through
No.
my last one. The other yarn I got was, I don't know if you remember a while back when I picked up the yarn to do the 10-stitch blanket with Kay from Bakery Bears. And I thought, I wasn't sure it was enough. I wanted to make sure I had enough to finish the blanket if I start it. And I think that's going to be one of these things that if I can get going on it kind of like this, it's only 10 stitches at a time. So I can maybe do that without hurting my hands. And I
Right.
feel like I'm accomplishing something. That one and this one.
This one I love.
So anyway, so I got more of this. And this colorway, this is how it works up. And they have 2 or 3 different kinds. And I think I was afraid, honestly, that if I didn't pick up what I needed now, it might go away. This colorway it's just called Brights. They had a more purple and blue one that was a little more sedate. I thought, well, I should have probably picked up that one, but you know what? I just need something a little brighter today. This is nice. And if I don't use it all, I can make hats, or, you guys might benefit if I have extra or whatever. So those were my Hobby Lobby acquisitions. They weren't, nothing, super expensive or anything. Just kind of making sure I have enough for my hats and such. Because right now I think I'm kind of sort of going to stick to smaller projects for a while. Still work on my shawls as I can.
Yeah.
But, there. Okay.
Design news, Sparkles in testing, and Grayson is in testing. So we have 2
Yay.
patterns in testing. They'll both come out in September.
Yay.
Autobiography. Worked on the shared story a bit. Listened to a few of my lectures from the Great Courses class on the early Middle Ages. Did some studying from work because, Vonnie, that was totally your fault. I was actually studying the endocrine system, and then I'm taking a critical care class online that gets me continuing education points for my license. Not to mention it gets me some extra training for critical care. So I went and found my section on neurological, particularly stroke. So I skipped ahead to that. And since I'm doing my own studying, I can choose to bip-bop wherever I want. So I'm doing stroke right now. Still reading, I had to grab my book. Thomas Becket by John Guy. And I need to actually mark down where I'm at in Goodreads. I read this in fits and starts. I read a section at a time. So I get little bits read. I'm on chapter 12, about to start that. The last thing is that I am listening to the Sword of Shannara again.
Yay.
Instead of reading it, I'm listening to it while I'm knitting. Sometimes I don't feel like listening to podcasts. And I don't usually like listening to books I haven't read before, but if I'm listening to a book I've read before, I get new things out of it. So I'm re-listening to that while I'm getting crafting done. And while responding on Rav.
Okay, I haven't done any real writing. I did sign up to do prompting again for the Percolator. It's that time of month, time of year, time of month, whatever you want to call it, whenever we run out of prompters. So I'll be doing that. I haven't done any real writing per se, except to brainstorm with Talia for the shared story. I am thinking about putting together a devotional for maybe kids, the teenagers. I'm trying to figure out how to set that up. I did stop working at Seton. I no longer work. I actually put in my resignation, my 2 weeks notice today. It was just getting to be too much. I hadn't been working steadily since about March, and I have equipment and things here that was making me nervous to have, and I just knew that if I got back into it, started getting into a routine. I want to clean up my house more. It's starting to look a little bit like a disaster. I want to take a little better care of myself, get some more sleep, eat properly, clean the house, do my crafting, whatever it is. And I think it was just time to back out of the job. So now I want to do some things that I have been wanting to do, like do the devotional, get back to my novel, and edit it again so I can either self-publish it or send it out to somebody.
I would say self-publish, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and then, work on other things like that. I'm still reading The Complete Father Brown by G.K. Chesterton. I picked up volumes 3 and 5, I think it was, of the Maze Runner series because they were on sale for $1.99. So all I have to do now is get 4 to have the complete set. I think it's 4 I need to get. And let's see what else. I'm starting my journaling again. Some of you have already seen this journal, which I absolutely love. I picked this up from Borders just before they closed the doors for good.
It took it forever to use it.
Yeah, it did. It took me forever to use. I think, Brittany, that actually your owl's going to go in the front of this instead of my guidebook because this is going to stay with me. And what I do is, this is kind of a prayer journal / Bible kind of thing. And today, I did some writing it yesterday. I did something today. I have a different notebook that I take to Mass and do most of my readings and stuff, but I'm working on this book right now. It's called How to Listen What God is Speaking, and it's really good. I'm only on the first chapter, and I've already taken a few notes. I don't want to necessarily write in this book. I don't have a problem highlighting in my books. I just don't want to do it. So, at this one. So, oh wow. Huh. I must have started this before.
Huh.
It's a little, this is a little magnetized.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Bookmark.
I've never seen one like that.
So I'm going to put this over here.
That's actually really cool.
I like this. So I'm going to put this here instead of a torn up piece of paper. And this particular bookmark is St. Anthony of Padua, patron saint for lost articles, among other things. And this book is really good. I don't want to belabor the point in case you're not interested, but it's helping me. Because, Mother Angelica said before she died, I was watching one of her one of her old shows from EWTN, and she said, so I asked how they know when God is speaking to her. She said, well, sometimes, sweetheart, you have to shut up. So I was like, yeah, that's probably what I need to do is shut up. So that's that. Okay.
And then for me, I forgot to mention that I read in bits and parts the complete works of St. Augustine. I'm on the City of God.
And I do have that book. I bought that when you bought yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had a chance to start it yet because I have too many books going.
Well, the thing is with this, I can read a chapter and it still shows me at 1% because
Yes.
that's all his works. I'm
Yes.
just sitting here like, I know I read more.
I read 500 pages. I'm still at 1%.
But I forgot to mention that I did win some yarn from Melissa Spicy Homemaker,
Mm-hmm.
which was cool.
Yes.
And I think I mentioned to her son Kylan that I'm called Bat Nurse. This is what one of my former coworkers made me.
Yes.
I am the night shift. I am Bat Nurse.
Yes, that's cool. So maybe Melissa will show that to him because he's a geek. He's a bat geek.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. We're bat geeks.
But yes. Yeah, but I had won some yarn, which was awesome. I look forward to seeing that.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. Let's see. I did want to thank Maureen from the Victorian Studio who gave us a nice little shout out. Maureen Davina was thrilled that you liked your jewelry and that you wore it on the podcast and showed everybody. She was thrilled by that. I haven't shown her yet, but I told her, and she was really happy about that. So I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you mentioned her. And thank you for your sweet comments regarding us and our podcast. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. We also want to thank the people who have commented on YouTube.
Yes.
I did not have a chance to answer, but thank you, Spicy Homemaker, and thank you, PJ Matilda. And that's another person I wanted to talk to about yarn dyeing,
Yeah.
Pam. I have not had a chance to answer, but we did read them. I did anyway, and we appreciate your comments. Thank you very, very much. Is there anything else that we need to...
I think that might be it.
When are we podcasting next week?
It should be normal time because I'm not working Monday.
Okay, so we should...
I think I work... Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday this week, and then I'm back on my normal Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the rest of the month.
Some Monday, okay. I did want to mention, I did mention on the podcast last week that I had a doctor appointment for my thyroid. I did go to the doctor. Doctor said everything is fine. There's some of it has some fluid, so changes a little bit, but nothing major. I have to go back in 18 months for that. I have to get blood work done after April of 2016, and my appointment, like I said, is the following year. But nothing really major, so that's good. Thank you for all your good wishes and prayers. I very much appreciate it. Somebody actually private messaged me. I think it was Jody who actually private messaged me and said, she was praying for me. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I know that's why my test results have come back well, because I've had so many prayers. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Anything else?
Nope, it's good.
Okay, so we thank you for joining us here in the PHN Fun Woman Cave. We wish you a week full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, and every good thing, whatever it is that makes you happy. And we hope to see you here again next week in the PHN Fun Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 219, and that's a wrap.